What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another gaming sessions, and today we're gonna do a new segment called "What's the Beef?" It might be a working title, okay? But essentially, we're gonna be talking about
Once was a ship that put
Skull and Bones. So, Skull and Bones is gonna be dropping on February 13th of 2024, and the reason why I wanted to talk about this game is because I had kind of recently, as of like yesterday maybe, watched the Skull and Bones gameplay trailer. It was like an in-depth trailer going over what the game is, exactly how the battle or combat system works, essentially what the whole layout of what you possibly are going to be playing come February 13th. And one of the things that interested me the most was the mixed reviews, or mixed opinions rather, and the comment section of people essentially saying that they were upset that there's no hand-to-hand combat, there's no boarding the ship. Essentially, for those who didn't know, like I didn't know, but Skull and Bones was going to be an expansion of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I think it's his fourth one. Yeah, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. And basically, it was an expansion that just never came out. So essentially, Skull and Bones started development all the way back in 2013. And in 2017, there was an announcement that it was going to be on the way. In 2018, they released a gameplay trailer, and it looked like it was going to finally launch. And then just through numerous delays and issues with the game, it just never came out. And now that kind of leads us all the way up to February 13th of next year, when Skull and Bones is supposed to drop. Now, one of the things that I found interesting is I went back and I watched the gameplay trailer that came out back in 2018. And I was just surprised because I was fully expecting, okay, if people are going to complain about this, they have to have some reason to complain, right? Like maybe they were tricked or duped into believing that there was hand-to-hand combat or boarding ships or any of these things that they're claiming the game had originally. I went back and I watched the gameplay trailer back in 2018, and it mirrors almost exactly what we got recently with the gameplay breakdown of Skull and Bones that came out probably like a week ago. But essentially, they're pretty close to each other. Neither trailer shows hand-to-hand combat, and I'm going off the 2018 trailer, or the gameplay trailer, that was like probably like 10 minutes, I think. It actually might have been longer. Let me just double check here real quick. Okay, so I went back and, yeah, it's a 23-minute, 18-second long trailer from 2018. And in this, in the gameplay trailer, it's not even a trailer, I guess, just a gameplay overview. Would be the best way to describe it. Essentially, there was no hand-to-hand combat. There was no onboarding of the ship. And I was genuinely confused because judging by the comments, it sounded like this was a thing that was already in this game, and they just stripped it away. But that's not the case. Now, if you got maybe confused because you're like, well, this was an expansion to Black Flag, so why isn't there hand-to-hand combat? Assassin's Creed has hand-to-hand combat, but this wasn't, they basically moved away from this being an Assassin's Creed Black Flag expansion back in 2018, when they showed that this had nothing to do with Assassin's Creed. And so I don't understand why in the comments people were feeling like they were duped or feeling upset or just generally confused about the fact this isn't an expansion to Black Flag, when that stopped being a thing, as far as I can tell, back in 2017. When it was kind of announced, and then 2018 when the 23-minute, 18-second gameplay trailer, which shows no hand-to-hand combat, nor boarding of the ship, or association with Black Flag, it just, yeah, it's very kind of telling that when you see comments of people complaining about a game, and they generally are just complaining because they wanted something that just wasn't a thing to begin with. Now, if you want, like, again, I brought up the fact this was an expansion originally to Black Flag, but it just stopped being that. It was no longer an expansion, again, back in 2017. So it just feels like people had their minds or hearts stuck in one way that this game was supposed to be, and just were upset when it wasn't that thing. But I want to just kind of go into why I'm excited for this game and what this game actually reminds me of. So the one game that I genuinely loved playing back on the Xbox, and it was one of my favorite games growing up, was Crimson Skies. It's essentially like a comic book based version of like air combat. So not like a realistic like Tom Clancy or Ace Combat or something like that. It was more, basically like a comic book, essentially. But there was never a sequel, and it was kind of upsetting. We just never got a lot of good, flight combat games. When I saw this Skull and Bones game, I felt like this was kind of like the Crimson Skies for pirate ships. And from going off of the recent gameplay overview trailer, there's a lot of different islands that you can essentially go to. There's a lot of different side missions. There is an end game that they kind of said in the trailer.
From a robust endgame to new challenges, free seasonal content, and additional PvP activities.
You can customize your ships, and you can essentially work with 2 other friends to take to the high seas and then find buried treasure and just do a lot of fun things. And would I have liked hand-to-hand combat? Sure, yeah, I would have. But we don't know. They might expand upon this if it's successful. So it feels like at Ubisoft, what they really wanted to do is they wanted to master certain elements of Skull and Bones and kind of make them so they're just absolutely incredibly fun to play, and just overall enjoyable, and this game could last you for quite a while. That's kind of what it feels like going off the overview, is that's what they're going for. And maybe the hand-to-hand combat would come at a later date, but for me, the ship combat looks like a lot of fun. The sea exploration looks like a lot of fun. It looks like there's a lot of stuff to do, side missions and the like. Looks like you can get a lot of different like customizable stuff for not only your ship, but for your ship's captain as well, whoever you want to create. Different clothes and designs and the like. And there's also, it just feels like it's a game that could have a lot of different stories coming from the players rather than just a linear story that everybody plays through. And to me, those are the most fun games, is when games that you can essentially create your own experience, and especially be that with friends. I fully expect myself and my 2 brothers, Rocky and Tim, who's over at Cinema Jacket, basically to play this game and have a lot of fun doing so. And it's PvP, and it just feels like an endless opportunity to have this game as like a side fun game, like a side game that you just kind of keep going back to and just playing with your friends, and then possibly expanding on it if it is successful, and hopefully it is. I mean, I definitely, once I get my hands on it, we'll give you our thoughts and our review and our honest opinion about the game. But as of right now, the game looks like a game that I would thoroughly enjoy playing. I love customizable stuff. I like, we don't get a lot of games with pirates. Sea of Thieves, I think I played for an hour at most. I just couldn't get into Sea of Thieves. And I love rare games. I've been playing rare games since Banjo-Kazooie came out on the Nintendo 64. Skull and Bones just feels like a really cool pirate game, more realistic, and sure, it doesn't have anything to do with Assassin's Creed, but that's probably a good thing, because then they can go their own direction and kind of do what they want, and they don't have to be held to a certain standard or a certain world that's already been preconceived, and players have expectations when it comes to. For me, Skull and Bones looks like a great game, and I definitely want to hear from you what your thoughts are on it. Are you excited for Skull and Bones? Maybe you're not. Let us know in the comments down below. Also down below, you'll find the description of me and my brother Rocky's. All the socials are located. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like. Don't forget to hit subscribe and hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss out on videos like this from us in the future. I I hope I get my hands on Skull and Bones relatively soon, and I'm able to kind of talk more about it, just playing it for a little bit and just giving you my honest opinion on it. And maybe it's not good, but we'll see. And the best thing is to keep an open mind, and this is a game that I feel like, for those who are keeping an open mind about it, could potentially have a lot of fun with it. Alright, so thank you so much for tuning with me, and we'll see you all in the next gaming session.
I stay out of my head to the depths of the universe. It's a spell or a chance just to open up a newer curse. If I swim too far, then my head goes under. If we take it as it is, then there ain't no wonder. It's hard to imagine that just one little blunder it creates